moving towards the cab now. I've got it broken down into its component form really. It consists of a frame, then we've got the black plastic window. I want to mount a camera module, and I've got here I think it's a 1000 TVL e-sheen. I'm thinking about mounting it in there somewhere, so the cab will actually end up there in that position somewhere, and the camera will be mounted here somewhere along that line, with his lens poking out through the glass. So he'll be coupled up to this, which is a 5.8 250 milliwatt transmitter, video transmitter, and I've kind of pre-wired it and tested it to make sure it's going to work. So basically it plugs straight into the camera, into the back, and it will transmit a signal out through, which will be picked up on the radio on the handset, so you'll get a first person view out of the cab looking at the digger. So it's a bit of fun. I've got a 10mm LED, so I was going to have him sat there, and I've made up a little mounting flange for it to go on. I've also got in mind a row of LEDs. Now this got a nice reflector that can be chopped down, change these LEDs out for white LEDs, and then swap out this unit, so maybe cut out that and slot something like that in its place, with the roof on the top like that to close it all in, and then we've got a nice row of LEDs, LED lights with a good reflector behind it, and maybe a piece of perspex or something. I've mounted this camera, a little e-sheen camera, onto a bracket, and now I'm moving on to the video transmitter. So this is a e-sheen VTX02. It's a pretty small unit, but it's quite a job to mount because you've got components on both sides of the board, so there's not a lot of room really to get any sort of fixing or anything else. That is kind of like its finishing position there. So I've come up with an idea of a post, so it'll be held there like a little clock, and then at the end I've got an M3 hole that is tapped out, so I can drill a hole up through underneath, fix that post to it there, and then that should be at the right height to allow the antenna to poke up through the top, through the roof. So I'll just sit this on a minute. So that's the cab frame on, and the antenna will be poking up through the roof somewhere about there, with it being sat on this post. Now of course you won't see any of this when it's all together because of the black non-transparent part of the, well, I'd say it was a glass, but it's not really, it's just a cover, so you won't see any of that. All you'll see is a hole in the front where the camera lens is looking through. Right, so we got the video transmitter rigged up, powered up. We've got it mounted, so he's on that little post that I was talking about earlier, and it's actually in the cab. So we've got a view of or a front view of the camera, and that gives you some sort of perspective on what we're looking out at. So what I'm going to do now is to have a look at the receiver end. So I'll just take you across to the receiver monitor, the other side. Okay, so we're looking at the screen at the moment, and on this monitor system there's a DVR recorder, which I'll switch over and get the DVR recorder view. So that's it looking through the DVR, and I'll just set that on to record while I'm recording on this one. So let's hit that button, start that recording in a minute. There we go. So he's actually recording now. So the digger is actually over there on the bench, so it's all testing okay. We've got the bucket in the corner, top corner. So if I take the camera back again, we'll stop that recording. That's good enough, and then we'll switch that back over to monitor. He's on channel 2 on the receiver side, so basically it's just being transmitted across the workshop from the digger.